Hari Om, my dear children. Welcome back to today's online session. Hope you are doing well and having great time at your home. Children, in our previous session, we have completed section 1 of lesson 2 in our English literature. That is, the tale of a mountain. Today, we are going to continue this session with section 2 of this lesson. Before going to start the section 2 of this lesson, I would like to recall section 1. In the sense, I have given a short summary of section 1 here. Let's listen carefully and recall whatever we have discussed in the previous session. And before that, I hope children you read the story in your textbooks. If not, please read the story in your textbooks before listening this session. It may help you to understand the lesson very clearly. Here is the short summary of the section 1. Once upon a time, there lived a tall mountain. It stood alone in the blue sky. Children, hope you remember that our lesson is about a lonely mountain and its friendship, isn't it? Okay. So the mountain, it was very high, so it had few friends. But the mountain had fun poking its beak at the clouds. This made the clouds laugh so hard that they cried. Then rain would fall on the earth. When the mountains cried, the rain would fall on the earth. One hot summer, the sun shone very hard, so there were no clouds in the sky. This made the mountain very sad because the mountain felt lonely. It asked the sky where the clouds were. Then the sky said that the clouds had gone to the kingdom of winter. They won't come back till the end of summer. So the clouds went to the kingdom of winter. They won't come back till the end of summer. The mountain thought about going to the winter kingdom to meet the clouds. But the sky told him that mountains always stayed at the same place. Then the mountain became even sadder. It said that everyone found new and exciting things while it had to sit still. Nobody and nothing needs me, the mountain cried. So children, this is what we have discussed in section 1. Now we are going to discuss about section 2 in this lesson. Tears began to flow like rivers down the mountain's face. For the first time in its life, the mountain cried. Even as it cried, the dried and cracked plain below drank the flowing water thirstily. So, when the mountain started crying, tears began to flow like rivers down from the mountain's face. Here we can see the tears flowing like a river from the mountain's face. So the mountain cried for the first time in its life. Why the mountain crying, children? Because it feels lonely. It missed friends. It missed the clouds. Even as it cried, the dried and cracked plain below drank the flowing water thirstily. So the tears, the plain far below the mountain. Here we can see the plain far below the mountain. How was the plain? It was cracked. So the plain drank the flowing water thirstily. And before the end of the day, the cracks in the soil had healed. The plain became fresh and green. So, when the plain drank the water flowing from the mountain's face, the plain, so before the end of the day, the cracks of the soil had healed. So here we can see the water of the mountain, the tears of the mountain flowing like a river. And here we can see the plain. Here we can see the plain. So what happened before the end of the day? The cracks of the mountain healed and the cracks of the plain healed. Then the plain became fresh and green. Here we can see the fresh and green plain. The plain called out to the mountain, "Oh, kind mountain, thank you for saving me from a terrible fate. Your water is so pure that it has healed all my wounds. Look at how much it has changed me." So when the plain became fresh and green by drinking the tears of the mountain, then it called the mountain, "Oh, kind mountain, thank you for," the plain thanked the mountain, "thank you for saving me from a terrible fate." Here, terrible fate in the sense, here I have the meaning for terrible fate, very bad outcome. You saved me from a very bad outcome. Your water is so pure that the water has healed all my wounds. The water has healed all my cracks. Look at how much it has changed me. The plain said to the mountain, "Look at me, how your water changed me with the green and fresh trees." The mountain was so surprised that it stopped crying. Until then, nobody had even spoken to it from down below. After all, the mountain was so very high and the plain so far below. So when the plain called the mountain and thanked it for saving it from a terrible fate, the mountain was so surprised by seeing the fresh and green plain. Then it stopped crying. Until then, nobody had even spoken to it from down below. Until then, nobody had spoken to the mountain from the down below. Why? Because the mountain was very high and the plain was far below it. So actually, the mountain had forgotten that a plain was there. So in fact, the mountain had forgotten that the plain was there. The mountain looked down and was surprised as it saw the lovely plain. It was like a fresh green carpet. So in fact, the mountain had forgotten the plain was there down below it. The mountain looked down the plain below and it was surprised as it saw the lovely plain. How was the plain here? It was like a fresh green carpet. Here we can see the plain with like a fresh green carpet. Here we can see fresh green carpet. By seeing the plain, the mountain felt very happy. The mountain was filled with delight, and the wise old sky whispered, "Now you see, mountain, you can find friends anywhere. You just have to notice them." Then when the mountain felt very happy about the plain, The mountain was filled with delight. It was filled with delight. Here, delight in the sense, here I have given the meaning of delight, feeling of pleasure and happiness. Feeling of pleasure and happiness. Delight in the sense, the mountain filled with happiness. And the wise old sky whispered to the mountain, now you see mountain, you can find friends anywhere. So you can find friends anywhere. What you have to do for that? You just have to notice them. You just have to notice them. So children, at the beginning of the story, I told you one thing. In this story, we are going to know about a lonely mountain. It feels sorry itself until it learnt a secret. Am I right? So, what was the secret here? The mountain feels sorry itself. Why? Because it doesn't notice the plain. It doesn't notice the plain far below it. When it missed the clouds, then only it cried, and the plain and the mountain became very good friends. So children, everywhere we can find friends. But what we have to do is, we have to just notice them. We have to just find them. Then we can find friends everywhere. Hope you have understood the lesson, children. After listening this class, just read out the lesson in your textbooks and complete the exercises which was given in your textbooks after the lesson. And here I am giving the animated video for this lesson. Watch it carefully. Hari Om. Thank you.
The Tale of a Mountain. Once upon a time there lived a mountain which was so high that it might have been the tallest mountain in the whole world. It stood alone in the blue sky. The plain was far below it, so it had very few friends. Only the big fluffy clouds reached all the way to its peak. But what fun it was to poke its pointed beak into their fluffy middle. It tickled them. The clouds would burst into laughter, and sometimes they would laugh so hard that they would cry. Then it would rain on the earth below. One hot summer, the sun shone down so hard and long that for several days there wasn't a single little cloud in the sky. The mountain felt very sad. Finally, when it could not bear being lonely any longer, it asked the great wide sky,
Why won't you let the little ones run and play? Where have they gone?
The sky replied,
All my children have gone to the kingdom of winter, which is very far from here. They won't come back until the end of summer.
I miss them so much.
The mountain said with a sigh.
Maybe I should go to the winter kingdom too and visit my friends.
You are a mountain. Mountains are heavy and can't fly like clouds. Mountains always stay in the same place.
The sky stated firmly. The mountain became even sadder.
Everyone else moves around and finds exciting new things, and I have to sit still. Nobody and nothing needs me.
It wailed. Tears began to flow like rivers down the mountain's face. For the first time in its life, the mountain cried. Even as it cried, the dried and cracked plain below drank the flowing water thirstily. And before the end of the day, the cracks in the soil had healed. The plain became fresh and green. The plain called out to the mountain,
O kind mountain, thank you for saving me from a terrible fate. Your water is so pure that it has healed all my wounds. Look at how much it has changed me.
The mountain was so surprised that it stopped crying. Until then, nobody had even spoken to it from down below. After all, the mountain was so very high and the plain was so far below. In fact, the mountain had forgotten that the plain was there. The mountain looked down and was surprised as it saw the lovely plain. It was like a fresh green carpet. The mountain was filled with delight, and the wise old sky whispered,
Now you see, mountain, you can find friends anywhere. You just have to notice them.